Hello everyone. Doudrop has a mission in her endeavor to become queen. Does Xavier Woods exalt being king over being the champion? And what else could Mustafa Ali possibly say with his mouth that he didn't already say with his fists? I'm Casualeann. Come with me. Our hosts for the evening are Jackie Redmond and Matt Kemp. We start with some video from the main event. The Big E tries to get Drew McIntyre back from last week and tag himself in, only to get a little Uso offense for his trouble. Everything breaks down completely. They're beating each other down, and eventually Drew gets the upper hand. Redmond and Kemp talk about the intensification of this feud, and this was pretty jovial and respectful when it started, but oh, how easily ego has turned things a little bit sour. They cover Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks teaming against Charlotte and Becky Lynch. Now this was kind of more of a showpiece for the Raw and SmackDown women's title hunts. Belair and Banks couldn't get along, going at each other. Now this resulted in a no contest. Redmond notes how there's no telling who has the upper hand in this women's championship title picture. Now the decision to make it a no contest seemed kind of weird to me, because they had the same issue with the men's tag team match later on, with Big E and Drew McIntyre attacking each other mid-match from the outside, but it being allowed to go to a count-out. Now, other than Sasha and Bianca being on the ring apron, I don't really understand what the difference was between the two matches, but if you have any ideas, let me know in the comments. So the pair segue to the breakup of Mustafa Ali and Monsoor. They lost to the Hurt Business, and Mustafa just verbally berates him like a mean drunk dad in a 2 weeks past laundry day wife beater. And Kevin Patrick is with Mustafa Ali. Mustafa thinks Kevin Patrick is judging him on his actions as opposed to his intent, what he's been trying to impart to Monsoor this entire time. He claims that he was once like Monsoor, smiling, happy, and where did it get him? He's challenging Monsoor to a match at Crown Jewel. And when he beats them there, Monsoor will experience all the pain and embarrassment that Mustafa feels each day. Then he thanks Kevin Patrick for his time. Now this really hurt me. While it's gonna be lovely to see them actually go at it in the ring and to see the reaction that Monsoor is gonna get in his home country, I just didn't want to see this tag team go down in flames. I mean, so many tag teams have been split apart, and then the individuals go little to nowhere afterwards. Mustafa Ali and Monsoor were kind of a low-tier RK Bro, but that was kind of okay. We rooted for them, and now there's no one left to root for because I doubt very seriously that once on his own, Monsoor is gonna all of a sudden get a huge push. Now, while that would be interesting to see, and Monsoor is a very likable guy, it's just unlikely to happen. Now, I hope all of this wasn't done just to get a match out of it for Crown Jewel, because again, for the sake of continuity, Crown Jewel's nothing more than a really expensive house show. And the team doesn't deserve that for the sake of one match. But the segment itself was effective. Underneath the cruelty and the hostility, we kind of see this contorted hurt from Mustafa. This is someone with a passion for the business who got burned one or several too many times. And he cannot stand what he sees from Monsoor himself. There are ads. They return with the latest result from the Queen's Crown tournament. Doudrop defeated Natalya despite Natty's intention to win for her family legacy. This is a good thing for Doudrop, and it will ultimately, hopefully, further the feud between she and the Queen of Spades, Shayna Baszler. Sarah Schreiber attempts to get some thoughts from Doudrop. She wants to know what this Queen's Crown opportunity means to her. Doudrop highlights that she's different from everyone in the tournament and in the company. And so she's doing this for everyone who's also different, who's taunted for being different, to show that anyone can be a winner. Schreiber asks, how do you prepare for Shayna Baszler? Doudrop responds that she's been dealing with Shayna Baszler's her entire life. Under Shayna's mean face is fear. And Doudrop is going to give her something to be afraid of. Is Doudrop from Scotland or is she from the South? Because with that line, I definitely heard every spanking warning that I've ever heard before. Doudrop says after she wins, she and Sarah are going to put on their dancing shoes and dance the night away. And they send it back to the hosts. Camp highlights how tall a task Doudrop will have in the semifinals with Shayna Baszler. And they turn to Shayna and Dana Brooke's match. Shayna and Dana. Shayna and Dana. The Odd Couple tag team name kind of writes itself. This match was a little more competitive than I expected, which was a pleasant surprise. A mere knee was enough to dispatch Brooke, and Matt Camp says that you don't need your full arsenal all the time, and it's her tournament to lose. I wish this match really would have been given the proper time, because with the flashes of it that you did get, it seems like it really could have built some excitement for the rest of the tournament. And in addition to building Shayna, it could have elevated Brooke in defeat. Jackie Redmond asks Camp about how much it means to Xavier to have the opportunity to be King of the Ring. They talk about this being a childhood dream of his, and now both Kofi and Xavier had the opportunity. What happened, we'll get into in a moment. We get some ads, and then there's more recap of the women's tag team match. Post-match, Lynch and Banks trade shots until Becky gets the final word with a manhandle slam. They talk about the supersized SmackDown, the final one before Crown Jewel. Now, part of that will run head-to-head against AEW Rampage, so we'll see how it goes and which promotion comes out on top. Moving back to King of the Ring, the pair now give specifics on the New Day's results. Woods overcomes the challenge of the nimble Ricochet, and he hits what the Macho Man won a tournament with himself. A beautiful elbow drop. Now, Kofi didn't fare quite as well. Veer and Shanky began to interfere in his match, then Woods meeting them distracts Kofi, allowing Mahal to hit the Colossus. As I watch this, I'm wondering if it's going to sow dissension between Kingston and Woods. No one is supposed to touch the crown and throne, but Mahal had his rear end all up in it. This kind of makes him even more of a heel, and that's a good way to go about it, because to this point they've treated it like it's this hallowed space on the way down the ramp, or on the way up the ramp. The superstars may get close, but they're not all over the crown and the throne itself. In introducing the New Day, Jackie Redmond says they're friends of the show. They're always there. I mean, New Day's hosted before, but okay. They completely tear down Kevin Patrick for trying to ask about Kofi's feelings towards seeing Xavier advance while he didn't. Kofi talks about Mahal actually being a champion, that people forget this, and Patrick wanting him to look past Mahal in their earlier backstage interview. He talks about Xavier as King of the Ring and how it's been a lifelong dream for him. Now, Woods launches into what we've been waiting for. A justification for why this particular accolade means so much. He's read about King Arthur, the Knights of the Round Table, and he notes the kings have champions fighting for them. He doesn't need leather around his waist to show that he's the best. He's worked for this, and he's earned it. Now, while he's saying all of this, his head is gradually starting to lean a little bit, and this is because heavy is the head that wears the crown. Now, what does all of this imply exactly? What is Woods trying to say? I think what he's getting at is that King of the Ring is a singular honor. This is the way he's trying to frame it. It's different as he and the fans deem it so, and it's not a mere stepping stone to some higher prize. It is the prize. What a way to encapsulate the tournament itself. And I think it makes Woods' case all the more for being King of the Ring. The hand which grasps the scepter. Now, Camp asserts that he would be a benevolent and loving king, that he'd have a jester. Woods is a jester sometimes, but that said, he's a smart and articulate one. I'll give him credit for that. And at the semifinal level, Woods is definitely the dog that I have in the fight. They give us announcements again for a supersized SmackDown, and we get a random misplaced nameplate for Sarah Schreiber. You know, things like this happen all the time. But the must-watch segment here was definitely Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. They let what happened kind of roll off of their backs. That was very important in Kofi's case. And that possible dissension I was wondering about was next to nil. And Xavier Woods was not only a vessel for entertainment, his passion for being King of the Ring has done some work in raising its prestige, which you definitely need from the past few years. My rating is 4.5 out of 5. It was great all around. Ali, Doudrop, and Xavier Woods are more draws than you would expect. Ali made me want to see more with he and Monsoor. I really believed for a moment that Doudrop could be Queen of the Ring. And Xavier's ascent feels nearly inevitable, but still somewhat vulnerable. That was the October 11th episode of Raw Talk. What do you all think? Will Xavier Woods reign? If not, who's your pick to become King of the Ring? What about the Queen's crown? Have we seen the last of Mustafa Ali and Monsoor as a team? Let me know in the comments. Be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Tap that bell icon to make sure you get notifications for when new videos arrive. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.